Hi everyone, this is R.G. Morse, author of Man Up in 10 Lessons. So, I just came in from chopping wood. It's a cold, brisk, sunny alpine day here in Caslow, British Columbia, which is why I look the way I look. And you can't see it, but my trusty MacBook Pro here in front of me was opened up when I came back in and checked my email, and there was a link to an article from good old Fox News, that fount of truth and justice and the American way, featuring recent comments by none other than the one, the only, Karl Rove. I'd forgotten all about Karl, and what a delight it was to hear from him again. Karl's subject, it turns out yesterday, in an interview with Fox News, was the Super Bowl halftime ad featuring, that's right, Clint Eastwood. Perhaps you saw it. I didn't until after the game. It's called Halftime in America, a very evocative ad produced by Chrysler Corporation. Well, I thought it was absolutely the best ad of all the ads at the Super Bowl. I was really quite moved by it. I must say, I didn't rush out and buy a Chrysler 300 or a Dodge Durango, but I thought it was cool, and of course mainly because you-know-who, Clint, was the featured guy in the ad. So, what was Karl's take on this ad? Well, let me quote. "I was frankly offended," he said to Fox News. "This is a sign of what happens when government gets in bed with big business. We're going to lose $14 billion on those auto bailouts," Karl concluded. Well, of course, Karl, you're wrong. Let's just talk about what the facts actually are. First of all, let's focus on Clint for a moment. A toady of the Obama administration? No, I think not. In fact, George H.W. Bush actually considered asking Clint to run as his vice presidential running mate back in the day, before his kid became president. Last year, Clint said that he couldn't remember ever having voted for a Democratic presidential candidate in his entire life. A toady of President Obama? Clint, are you kidding? I don't think so. So what about the facts? Well, as of last May, the U.S. Treasury Department reported that it had recovered 11.2 of the $12.5 billion it loaned Chrysler Corporation. Now, it did say that it would write off the balance, a little over $1 billion, a leftover of the initial $4 billion bailout given to Chrysler by George W. Bush. Unbelievable. Karl forgot to mention that part. And it turns out that a section of that $4 billion initial bailout given to the old Chrysler by W was stupid. So there's about $1.2 billion of that left over that's going to be written off. That is true, in fact. But what about the overall impact of this bailout, most of which actually did occur under the guidance of the Obama administration? Well, according to David Kiley, who's the editor-in-chief of AOL Autos, the Center for Automotive Research estimates that the bailout saved more than 1.14 million jobs in 2009 and prevented what they referred to as personal income losses amongst workers and their families during 2009-2010 of almost $100 billion. Not a bad investment. So, in conclusion, I would just say this. This is exactly what happens when a pudgy, mean-spirited, sputteringly partisan hack like Karl Rove gets his tiny little jockeys in a knot. Personally, I suspect that Karl's suffering from Clint envy. Who can blame him? That's it for now. This is R.G. Morse, author of Man Up in 10 Lessons. Hang in there, boys.